Hello, and welcome to the Gamer's Closet. I'm your host, Douglas Weed, and today we're going to be talking about Mr. Bacon's Big Adventure. Mr. Bacon's Big Adventure was published by Archie Mcphee in 2009. Runs for about 30 minutes of game time, seats anywhere from 2 to 4 players, and is rated for ages 8 and up. But let's dig into it a little further, shall we? Mr. Bacon's Big Adventure was released by the catalog company Archie Mcphee in 2009. In this game, you join Mr. Bacon on a mouth-watering mosey through Meatland. On your way, you'll pass through enchanting lands like Mustard Marsh, Wiener Wasteland, and Meatball Meadows. Just don't take a wrong turn down Vegan Alley, or you'll end up back at the start. The object of the game is to be the first strip of bacon into the frying pan. The game does come with multiple pieces. It comes with 1 meaty game board, 4 bacon strip playing pieces, and 24 playing cards. To set up this game, shuffle the playing cards and place them on the question mark space on the board. Each player then chooses a bacon strip playing piece and puts it on the start space. The youngest player goes first. Spin the spinner and move to the color the spinner points to. If the spinner points at draw a card, that player then draws a card and follows the instructions on it. Keep the cards in a separate pile when used, and then once they've gone through all the cards, reshuffle and restack them. Then play passes to the left. While playing this game, you will land on several different spaces throughout the game. Some of these do have special rules. If you land on a space with a meatball on it, you must draw a card and you have to follow its instructions. If you land on any slide space, you must move along the bacon slide to the space on the other end. Once you are safely on the space on the other side, your turn ends. If you land on the Vegan Alley space, you must follow the path back to start, beginning with your next turn. Please note, Vegan Alley is a dark and dangerous place where veggie burgers look like beef jerky, tofu looks like olive loaf, carrots look like pepperoni, and vegan cornbread looks like corn dog breading. Just move to the color that is the closest to the one you spin to get out of this scary place as soon as you can. If you land on the Gristle Grotto space, you are stuck there until the spinner points at the corn dog color on your turn, unless of course you have an Escape from Gristle Grotto card. You cannot draw a card while stuck in Gristle Grotto. However, if the spinner lands on draw a card after you have played the Escape from Gristle Grotto card, you must draw a card. The last space on the board is a rainbow space. A space of any color will move you to this space. Please note, follow these rules even if you land on a space during another player's turn. Besides the spaces, there are a few clarifications on a couple of the cards that may come up throughout the game. The card says switch places with the next player ahead of you or behind you. If more than one player is on the same space, you need to choose one of them to switch with. If the card says move forward to the next meaty destination, this does not include the bacon slides. If the card says the next player you pass must go back to start, you must pass the player on your turn. If the card says Escape from Gristle Grotto, which you can keep this card until used, if you land on the Gristle Grotto space and have this card, you may use it at the beginning of your next turn and then spin the spinner to continue play. If the card says Escape from Vegan Alley, which you can keep this card as well until used, if you land on the Vegan Alley space and have this card, you may use it at the beginning of your next turn, then spin the spinner and continue along the path towards the frying pan. The game does come with a couple of frequently asked questions. First off, does the start space count as a space? Yes, it is a beef jerky space. Can I walk up the pepperoni slice trail in Meatball Meadows? No, you may not. How do I land on a meatball space since it's not on the spinner? Well, meatball spaces are just regular spaces with meatballs on them. Pay attention to the color of the space beneath the meatball. If I have the card, the next player you pass must go back to start, and I get ahead of someone by sliding on the bacon slide, does that count as a pass since I never physically passed them? And the answer to that would be yes, it would count as a pass, a very clever and sneaky pass, but still counts as a pass. And finally, If the card tells me to go backwards on my first turn, do I go into Vegan Alley? And the answer to that is yes. Even more exciting, if you go backwards all the way through Vegan Alley and out onto the path, on your next turn, you can continue on the main path way ahead of everyone else. Finally, the game does come with an alternate meat feast set of rules, which it says is not recommended by cardiologists. While the normal rules make the game fun, try this variation if you'd like to have fun while eating obscene amounts of delicious meat. First, gather and prepare pepperoni slices, beef jerky, sliced olive loaf, sliced bologna, sliced ham, pepperoni sticks, corn dogs, mustard, bacon slices, meatballs, hot dogs, Vienna sausages, little smokies, sausages, gravy, tofu, veggie burgers, carrots, and vegan cornbread. Then follow the rules, except every time you move, you must eat a bit of the food that you land on. If you land on a space with a meatball on it, you must eat a meatball plus a bit of the food beneath the meatball. If you end up in Vegan Alley, you're being punished by having to eat healthy vegan food. If you land on a brown space, you eat veggie burgers. If you land on a pale pink space, it's tofu, orange for carrots, and yellow for vegan cornbread. Whenever you land on a special meat space, you must eat a special treat. If you land in the bologna forest, you eat a bologna wrapped pepperoni stick. If you land in the mustard marsh, you eat a corn dog slathered in mustard. The meatball meadows, you eat a meatball shish kebab with a pepperoni stick as a skewer. The wiener wasteland, you eat a hot dog wrapped in ham. The vegan alley, you eat a juggly cube of tofu topped with shredded carrots. The hot dog hideout, you eat a hot dog, a Vienna sausage, and a pepperoni stick all at once. The sausage sea, you eat a sausage slathered in gravy. The gristle grotto, you eat a meatball wrapped in olive loaf and dipped in gravy. And finally, the bacon slide, you get to eat a slice of fried bacon. To win the game, be the first player whose bacon strip makes it to the frying pan. Well, this has been an overview of Mr. Bacon's Big Adventure. Couple things about this game. Mr. Bacon's Big Adventure, I would classify two ways. It's kind of a joke game because it is a board game, but Archie Mcphee, the catalog company, released a couple of games in their catalog, and you had to order away from it in the catalog, and that was the only way to get this game. So it's not a very mainstream game. The second way I would describe this game is kind of like a Candyland knockoff, but everything is meat themed. So you have olive loaf and mustard and some other things in this game. So like I said, it's all meat themed. On the back of this game, you have the Meat family playing a copy of this game, which has this kind of creepy element to it, especially since the Meat family is trying to get to the frying pan at the end to have themselves cooked. So it has this kind of dark, macabre feeling to it. But overall, if you want to play this game, it's a pretty decent game. It's rated for ages 8 and up, which, if you want to play this with kids, you can. It's a very easy learning curve, but I would recommend playing Candyland over this game if you want to play it with kids. But if you want something really weird or different, or if you want to have a game night with friends, this might be an interesting option for you, especially if you want something that's a little on the joke side and not super serious. Mr. Bacon's Big Adventure, it does have a nice playthrough to it. It goes online for about $10, so it's relatively easy to find on most places. But overall, it's not a great game. Candyland is a little bit better in my opinion on this, but I'm not a fan of Candyland either because they're very, very basic games. If you haven't played it before, I'd recommend giving it a try. But I wouldn't recommend going out and just hunting for this game if, you know, like online or something like that. It's more of one of those, I found this at a thrift store on accident find, which is personally how I got this game. And it has a nice laugh to it, but the replayability on this game, I would say, is very low, especially on a group game night. So, if you haven't played it before and you can find it relatively cheap, hopefully for free, I would say give this game a try. But past that, I wouldn't go looking for this game. It's not a great game. It has some novelty to it, but past that, it gets old real quick. So if you haven't played it before, I'd recommend trying it, but personally, I don't recommend this game. Well, that's it from us here at the Gamer's Closet. We'd like to thank you for checking our video on Mr. Bacon's Big Adventure from Archie Mcphee. If there's a game in the future you'd like us to review or go over, please put it in the comments below. Please hit subscribe so that way you can be the first to check out our future content. And as always, please, have a great gaming day.